Chicago Bears fans, welcome back to the channel. It is Tuesday, November 27th. We have us a game tomorrow as it is Thanksgiving. So if you are seeing this tomorrow, happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there. Be safe, make smart decisions, make sure you all make it home in one piece. And before we get started, we got the jersey of the day. We got Jalen Johnson, as he is going to be one of my top keys for today's game. Now, before we get into it, my friends, I posted a couple of shorts over the weekend with the Bears game previous, and the shorts did really well. We got us some new subscribers and a couple of people commenting very frequently during the game, so I do appreciate that. So if you do like this video, like the video and comment your thoughts down below, as well as hitting that subscribe button and the notification bell so we can beat the YouTube algorithm. And let's get into this. Now, before I get into the keys, I would like to just speak on really quickly Thomas Brown and the way that the offense has been performing over the last 2 weeks. I think that the offense has been doing really great things. I think that Thomas Brown has opened up Caleb's, passing abilities both in the short game and the deep game. There was a couple of passes there to DJ Moore and DeAndre Swift that looked really good, that were on target, and just everybody getting involved in the game as a whole. So I would like to recognize that Thomas Brown really could be a long-term answer at your offensive coordinator position, or perhaps maybe even your head coach if that opportunity comes at the end of the season for him. I did not watch the press conferences this week. I was a little too busy, but I did catch up on some things from CHGO Bears and ESPN 1000. It looks like Thomas Brown and the offense is becoming a lot more connected. It looks like that the offense is really starting to gain their confidence back based on what I'm seeing them talk about in the press conferences. A good example of that would being Thomas Brown speaking about how he appreciates the response from players and how much they have battled. They've stayed aggressive, stayed on attack mode. And also, we got to give some credit to the offensive line. Getting a couple of people back off the injured list is really helping. It gives Caleb some stability there on both of the tackle positions. So you love to see that. Thomas Brown on Caleb Williams commenting Brown's aura on Sunday. I don't even know how to answer the aura question. I know it's a compliment, so thank you. It starts with being authentic, being myself. Your personality develops as you grow. I think that also could be said as a team as a whole. Obviously, Shane Waldron was going in the wrong direction while the players were trying to improve, and I think that Thomas Brown has unlocked quite a bit of that. Brown also says that he's a very direct person, and Caleb Williams adds to that he likes being coached. Again, I think that Shane Waldron was just a little too soft for this team, for the personnel that he had, and obviously players are getting more connected with Thomas Brown, which is absolutely fantastic. And then also Thomas Brown on Rome Odunze's growth and reliability on the offense. He's an absolute baller and has been that way since day one. Look, when you got you got Keenan Allen on a 1-year deal, you got DJ Moore, who is a little bit older, so if you could really get Rome Odunze into a wide receiver one type of role, especially with him being a rookie with Caleb Williams, developing that relationship together will be absolutely fantastic, because that could be like what we saw back in the day between Allen Robinson and Darnell Mooney when Mooney came in, right? Mooney could make really special catches, and then you had to double up Robinson there for a while because he seemed like one of the best receivers in the league. And then all of a sudden you were leaving Mooney one-on-one, and he just so tall and lanky that he could just go up and get any ball that you threw in his direction. I think that you could see a direct comparison there between DJ Moore and Rome Odunze, because Odunze is that freakishly tall guy. He's got the speed, he's got everything else, and then DJ Moore, just the way that he runs routes and how physical he is, he's the guy that will end up being doubled up eventually, and you're going to leave Rome on those one-on-one situations. And I know that Thomas Brown sees that, and I'm waiting, and I think that he will start taking advantage of that. And the other thing too is that Thomas Brown just doesn't side skirt anything, right? He talks about they asked him about the Lions defense, and he says that these guys are tough, they're violent, they're in your face, and they will challenge you. I'm excited for the opportunity, and for our guys to be excited for the opportunity. He definitely takes coaching to the next level off of the football field in terms of practice and going over film with the guys and having a one-on-one with each guy. And the other thing that I learned a week ago, and I don't know if I mentioned it before the Vikings game, is it came out that he practices with everybody together, and I guess that would infer that Shane Waldron was splitting people apart in practice, so you never really got that chance for everybody to gel together as a whole anyways, because by default, you didn't have everybody together, so I mean, you're not getting team reps together like that. That really is detrimental. And I mean, you saw that the last 4 weeks before Shane Waldron obviously got let go. Again, just from the press conferences all the way up to what we're seeing on the field, Thomas Brown is 100% going in the right direction. I would love to see him locked up as our OC. If you go and get somebody like, a Ben Johnson or Bill Belichick or whoever, right? But if things go sideways here with Eberflus, and it so happens that he is the first Bears coach to be fired mid-season, I would love to put him in an interim position, give him a 5-game sample size, and if you keep it within the organization, I would not mind taking a serious look at Thomas Brown for this position, because he has shown exactly what was going wrong, and he showed how to fix it. I mean, we went into Green Bay like that and almost walked away with a W there. Caleb Williams is back on track. He's broken the rookie record for passing yards. He tied the rookie record for passing, which was set in 1948. So I mean, he understands how to speak with Caleb and how to get things to Caleb in a way that he understands and in a way that is effective. I think that him being up in the booth has a lot to do with that, because he could see things pre-huddle and then pre-snap before the mic cuts out, and he can get information to Williams, where I don't think Shane Waldron could necessarily do that. But again, I think that the way that you've seen the coordinators turn this team around and keep these games close that should have been blowouts really says a lot about what the problems are in the current coaching staff and what the coordinators themselves are doing to try to at least keep the players competitive. On the defensive side, I don't know if that's a coordinator problem, because I'm pretty sure that Eberflus calls the plays for the defense, so I think that that's more on him than it is the coordinator. But I mean, that is what that is. And again, I just hope to see the progression with the offense, especially with the offensive line getting a little bit better. And I know that a lot of that too has to do with Brown scheming these plays to get the ball out quick, which is good, because that seems to be where Caleb is the most accurate anyways. So you're definitely taking advantage of that, which I appreciate. But again, obviously you have a head coaching problem, and you are putting yourself in a position where you could look at Thomas Brown as a potential solution based on how he's making this offense look, right? And I think that there's a lot to say that the best situation going forward is to make the offense look as good as possible, but also lose out, because you just want to get rid of Eberflus at this point. My hope, just like everybody else's, is that a loss in Detroit leads to a firing come Friday. But with the Bears and their record of not firing coaches, is that to be likely? Probably not. So like I say, if you could make the offense look as good as possible, showing what the problems were, but then letting Eberflus find a way to lose every week, that would be the best case scenario. Now, with that, let's move on to the keys to the game. I got a couple for the offense, and I have a couple for the defense, just like I've been doing for the last few weeks now. We'll start with the defensive side of the ball. I am wearing my first key for the defense. I need a bounce back games out of my DBs. I need Jalen Johnson to return to form. I think that last week, that one series that he just appeared to take off and he got cooked on, leading to a touchdown, was not, the greatest. It was not Jalen Johnson form. That's not the Jalen Johnson that we know and love. I'm looking for him to have a bounce back game because he is your number one, and he is paid like a number one, and he definitely is a number one. So one rough game. I'm not going to beat him up too bad, but I would like to see a bounce back out of Jalen Johnson. Shut down Amon-Ra St. Brown's side of the field and just take care of business. And with that, also Tyreek Stevenson. I guess that the Bears must not be too keen on him right now because he has sat the majority of the game against the Vikings, and he was out of the game at a crucial point in the game, especially going into overtime. Elijah Hicks let up a couple of plays where I think that if Tyreek Stevenson was in the game, it could have made a difference. So if he does play most of the game, I like to see a bounce back out of him as well because he does have a lot of raw talent. He just has to harness it in the right situations because I think that at some point during each game, he has just let the game get too big in his head, and I just want him to find a way to even keel that because when you have a guy like Jalen Johnson opposite side of the field to you, you really, really should be two lockdown corners. And again, I think that the guy's got a lot of talent. I don't think that he should be done on the Bears by any means. But in his second year, there still is some learning to be done. So I think that he will get there. But just make sure that your DBs have a bounce back game because we're definitely going to need it. I would be surprised if Jared Goff throws the ball a lot just because of Detroit's run game. But again, just have a nice, solid bounce-back game out of the DBs and the rest of the secondary. And then my second key for the defense would be try to find a way to please stop the run. I know that is highly unlikely given Jahmyr Gibbs and Montgomery is absolute beasts in the backfield, and they find a way to take a 5-yard run all the way to the house from the opposite side of the field. But we need to find a way to at least keep them at a somewhat manageable level. I'm not saying completely shut the run game down, but at least keep it at bay enough to have to force Goff to throw the ball at some point because keeping the ball in the air is going to be the way that you strengthen your chances to win the game, in my opinion. Again, Detroit has a fantastic run game. I have no doubt that both Gibbs and Montgomery could put up 100+ against us. But again, if you manage to keep the both of them combined under 150 yards, 175 somehow, that should strengthen your chances to win the game. And then also, you got to tighten up your coverages. This cover 2, soft coverage, prevent defense. Sure, it works when you're bringing 4 because you got a bunch of extra guys in the backfield. But I mean, come on, you gotta tighten up your man-to-man coverage. You gotta send more guys, especially with how Detroit runs. I think that you have to rush and blitz more than 4 and play man-to-man. I think that's what you're gonna have to do against the Lions here tomorrow. Today, if you're watching this on Thanksgiving. But I think that you gotta make adjustments to your defense. You've been running out the same defense all year. I think that Green Bay and Minnesota, while they did definitely expose it, your defense played well enough to obviously keep you in both games. But we all know that Detroit puts belt to absolute ass, and they could put up 50 points by the half if they so choose. So, got to find a way to hold them on the run game under 200 yards. Just because of the way that our defense is right now, and you got to tighten up your man-to-mans and a bounce-back game. So, with that on the offensive side of the ball, my number one, again, is going to be that Thomas Brown, Caleb Williams duo. I just want to see them keep expanding their game. I think that, again, Thomas Brown has done a fantastic job with Caleb, getting him into a more successful position. I think that the offensive line has gotten better over the last couple of weeks, getting guys back from injury, especially Braxton Jones. He had a couple of really great blocks against Green Bay and Minnesota. So, I mean, he still has times where he's getting pushed back right into Caleb, but I have seen improvement out of him. So I just want to see Caleb continue to be put in positions where he can complete passes, or if he sees a hole to take that run. His RPOs were really great the last 2 weeks. Just to see that game expanded upon, because I believe that if you're going to be running DeAndre Swift up the middle, you're going to have to pass the ball a lot this game. DeAndre Swift really should be an outside the tackles guy, unless you find a way to bring Roschon Johnson into the game more for today's game, tomorrow's game. If you could find a way to get Roschon Johnson the ball more to go up the middle of the field, that would also be fantastic, which would also be my number 2 key to the game. Find a way to get your run going early and effective. I've said this for the last few weeks now. With the offense protecting Caleb a little bit better with him getting the ball out faster, try to find a way to get your blocking set up for the run game, whether that is, we've seen a couple of shovelbacks to DJ Moore. We've seen DeAndre Swift and Roschon Johnson and Caleb Williams also running the ball. You got to get your run protection. You got to get your run protection set up early so that you can set up for your passing plays. I know that's going to be really hard given how Detroit's defense has been playing out of their minds, especially with missing Aiden Hutchinson. You just got to find a way to get that run going early. By any means necessary. I don't care who's blocking. I don't care who's set up to block where. Just find a way to get that run game going. And then my third and final key of the game is to just keep doing what you have been doing the last couple of weeks. Try to keep your pass game and your run game as balanced as you can, because that has been working. Even though against Minnesota, DeAndre Swift and Caleb Williams had like 30 and 37 yards, I want to say, and Roschon Johnson just got used in the red zone. Even though the run wasn't as effective against Minnesota as it was Green Bay, just keep your run and pass game balanced. It has been working. I think that, if you keep it balanced, the defense has to respect both the run and the pass. Just keep the game balanced like you have been doing. It works. Just keep it simple and make simple work effectively. So those are my keys to the game, my friends. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what your keys are. Let me know what you want to see out of the Bears. Hopefully we can keep the game at least respectable and not get the same belt-to-ass treatment that everybody else in the league has gotten up until this point, which I do believe is an actual possibility given what you did against Green Bay and Minnesota. Those games are supposed to be ass whoopings, and we kept them decent. We kept those 2 games close. So I'm putting the Bears down for a loss by 10 points. I don't know exactly what the score will be, but I have a feeling it will be by 10. So once more, those are my keys. Those are my opinions. My friends, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you are feeling for the game. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so we can beat the YouTube algorithm. Happy Thanksgiving, and I will catch you guys on Friday.